Hello, welcome back to So On Time, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm your co host, Dre.
I'm Deja. I'm Mrs. Fred.
Very true. And today we're continuing this series of catching you guys up. So, last episode we left off on what we left off on. Have you been listening? Because you should know. I shouldn't have to tell you what we were left off on. You should already know what we left off on. This is episode 2. If you haven't seen episode 1, go watch that. Because we continuing. Um, so after we dated for as briefly as we dated, we went on another date after the beautiful one we had in January. And this was the date leading up to my departure of being on the road. And we went ring shopping. Surprisingly, the first store we went into was the store. This was the one. Um, the one store and the one ring. So
For reference, if y'all was wondering. Anybody see? Sorry if y'all hear my bracelets, jingling, but that right there, that's the one. That's the one he talking about. That was the first ring in the first store.
and Deja was sobbing like a newborn baby.
So let me explain it from my perspective. So we go to the mall, we get there technically too early because the stores aren't even open. So we just kind of like lollygag around the one store that's actually open, and like we look at rings, but it was like we that's not why we went there. That I had my mind set on a certain store that I wanted to go to. So finally the full mall opened. We go into the store, and of course, the consultant there is just like, well, what do you want? What are you looking for? And I went in thinking that I wanted the dang, I can't even think of the name right now, an elongated cushion or an emerald, something like that, like the rectangle type diamond. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, because that's what I had seen like all on social media when I was looking at different like sites and stuff. That just looked like what was cool. So I'm telling the lady, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for like a elongated cushion, but honestly, I'm not really sure. Like that's why we're here. I need to see what I like, what looks good on me. I'm looking around, and then I go, ooh, and I see the ring, and she sees my reaction, and I go over to it, and she, pulls it out. I try it on, and immediately I was like I had the whole clutch my pearls moment, and I look up at Dre, and the lady look at me, and it was like something from a movie, y'all. It was
Yeah,
like love at first sight.
you
You
have to
had to be
be there
there
to
to see
experience,
it.
but it was just
It was
like,
like
yeah, we're done, we're
that
done.
was it. The very first ring, and not only the first ring, like engagement ring, but also the very first wedding band that she put on to try with it, which is the band that I have now. It was like, oh, this is perfect. And I was like, this feels unique. It's a marquee diamond. I was like, this feels like more my personality. And I remember thinking like, dang, it's so funny because on my Pinterest years ago, I had more like, to me, this is like a vintage cut type of diamond. This is kind of like an old school cut. And I had this, but because I had been seeing something else on social media so much, I thought I wanted something else. So that's a word. Like what you think you want versus what you actually want, it may be something completely different. So after that, like I walked around the store, we walked around, and we just tried on like different rings just to see, and nothing else spoke to me. We went to another store. I was already dead set on what I wanted, but just to be like, let me make sure that I know, like while we're already here, we went to another store, and I did not like the experience, the customer
Going to the
service.
other store was, I don't know, I don't even feel like Deja really wanted to. I don't even feel like you really wanted to go to a
I
different store.
didn't.
It wasn't more so like, oh, let's go to another store. It was just more so that you didn't want this sales lady to be, you know, big brain and thinking like, oh yeah, I got them. They sold this, that, and the third. It
Yeah.
was more so just like, we're gonna go check something out, just
Just
to check something out. We went to other stores and she was completely uninterested. I'm asking questions. She not even showing me. She playing with watches and
I was dead
pendants
set.
and wristlets or whatever putting something
bracelets,
on your
anklets.
anklets. I'm like, Deja, we came in here to look at rings. She said some, oh.
Yeah, nah, I was sold immediately, but like I didn't want her to think that. But I also was just like, while we're here, let's go look at other stuff because I want to make sure like I don't regret my decision. Though I knew I wasn't. I just,
She couldn't
wanted to
even
be
look at
double
another
sure.
ring.
Y'all, like it was instant. It was instant. And so then we went back to the store.
Oh, and she did. The sales lady did a really good job. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, so we go to another store. We don't like the experience. We come back and she's explaining, like, we're just sitting down, we're having a consultation, we talking about like, how much it'll cost, blah blah blah. And she was like, walk around the mall, think about it. Y'all can come back to me. I'm not. She wasn't a hard pushy sales lady. I guess I would say that. Like, she was chill because she knew it was like you could. There's no way you could watch your soon to be fiance react to a ring like that, and then the man go get something different.
Yeah.
So she knew, like, okay, even if you don't buy this ring now, you're coming. He's coming back.
Which, given my experience with people in general, just not even relationships, just given my experience, I would do that. I would see her reaction and then go get something that I was like, oh, I just thought you would like this too. So it's not beyond me to actually do it. I'm just glad, the Holy Spirit guided me and let me know that not to do this. But we did give her a little bit of our relationship history. So I guess that's another reason why she was just like, she was very relaxed because this wasn't something we was really thinking about doing now. We really wanted to get an idea of what each one of us liked, what our ring sizes was. So when the time actually came to when we're actually ready to say yes, we can go ahead and do this. But again, this was something straight out of a movie.
Things don't go the way you planned.
It was literally like, no, I did not expect to see, feel, and hear the reaction that came out of her when this lady put this ring on her finger.
Was like, Dre, I remember you saying that you wish you were recording it and you were thinking about going back to the lady, like, can y'all pull up the camera and show, like, can y'all zoom in on Deja? Like, that's how it was, y'all. You had to be there
for my pet lovers out there. Have you ever seen a cat truly happy for the very first time, like in true anticipation of whatever you have in their hand or in your hand? It was kind of like that.
It was
like
crazy.
Her eyes didn't get that big, but just like that expression when you know that this cat is truly happy and like they're giving off, like happy, positive energy. Deja lit that whole place up. And the funny thing is, there was only us in the store. It was just me, Deja, and the sales lady at the time. Mm-hmm. It was just like, bruh.
Yeah. So
it wasn't even like leave. It's like, get this ring.
And I kept going back to it because I went down, looked at other rings, came back and was like, wait, let me see the ring, but let me see it with another band. And it was like nothing else. It was the original ring she gave, and it was the original band. And I was like, yep, that's it. That's me. And it was funny because the sales lady, she thought we had been together for years. And we were laughing because we're like, technically, we're not like we're together, obviously, but going off of the sense of a title. Like, we did not have the boyfriend, girlfriend title. We were moving in that, but we didn't have that.
Yeah,
and so
again, this was when we was ready to actually be committed to one another. This was just another date.
Yep.
I'm about to be on the road.
Date. It was like, we know we want to move.
This was still me being intentional and like me showing Deja that I actually liked it, I actually cared. Like, if one day this was coming to be, I know what ring she likes. I know the size.
Yeah, this was all future. Like, we were just trying to be proactive instead of reactive.
God
like, let's just go do this.
Yeah, let me go ahead and stop this real quick because you don't know what she got going on up the pipeline, which I didn't. I didn't fully understand her mindset. Like, she told me, but I was just like, all right.
So Dre originally did not want to go ring shopping. This, like I said, this was my idea. Like, he planned the date, but it was my idea. Because it was just like, I want to love my ring. I want something that, you remember we had a conversation because we didn't see eye to eye on it. Because he felt like, oh, well, I should just go buy the ring that I like, that, and you should love it and appreciate it, which is cool. And if that's like your situation.
I didn't say it like that.
No,
I did
you didn't
not say
say
it
it.
like
I'm
let's
bringing it down.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
basically what it
summarizing
said, but
it.
I did not
He
say
ain't
it
say
like
it like
that.
that. He ain't say it like that. But it was just like
I just wanted the surprise
the,
factor.
it was still a surprise though, y'all. We gonna break this down because
Mm-hmm.
this was a very interesting journey for us. Because things again did not go the way that we planned it, thought it, saw it on social media, happen for other people.
Again,
Wasn't like that.
just to preface, since we are exes right now
Technically,
in this
yeah.
ring store, the ring that she's gawking on, we're not together.
Nah, the lady was like, "Oh, y'all been
fresh.
together."
We are still fresh out of December talking about we're not going to spend time with each other.
Yeah. The lady thought we had been together for years. She tried to butter me up, talking about she thought I was 22. I was like, "Oh, that was cute, girl." So she's like, walk around, come back, and we walk out the store. I started the car, and Dre looked at me, and he just bust out laughing like, "You don't want to sit here and talk?" And I was like, "No," because I think I didn't necessarily want the ring because I felt like it cost too much. Like, and that's something that I was kind of like battling with initially. I was like, this is out of the price range that I would want for you to spend for a ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I had kind of, my mindset was like, okay, I know what I like. Maybe I can go find this somewhere else cheaper.
Out the price range.
Maybe I can go find this somewhere cheaper or something. So we just so happened to sit down. Cause yeah, so he's like, no, Deja, like, let's talk about it, blah, blah, blah. I was about to go. I'm like, we need to leave because I got groceries that's about to be delivered. Like, so, but he convinces me to sit down. As we're sitting down, my stepmom calls me. And this is what really changed the tone of the day and all of the plans in a sense. So she calls me and she had called me earlier, but I didn't answer because I was talking to the lady. So she's like, what's going on? I called you because something, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. We're at the ring shop. And she's like, oh, okay, did you see something that you like? And I was like, yeah, like I found this ring. Like, I love it. It's da, 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 da. And she said, give Dre the phone. Cut me all the way off. It wasn't any more, it was no more conversation. She said, give Dre the phone. So Dre gets the phone. She's like, Dre, get up and walk away.
Yeah.
And she's like,
where's Deja? I was like, she was sitting across from me. She was like, all right, get up and just walk away. I was like, okay. And she's like, she okay? I was like, she looks highly confused. She's like, yep, okay, keep walking.
Yep. So basically she's telling him, like, if this is the ring that she wants, get her the ring that she wants. Deja gonna think about it. She gonna talk herself out of it. She gonna go back and forth. Mm-hmm. She ain't gonna be able to make up her mind. Like, we finna get this ring type of thing. Like, you not leaving this store without this ring.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there. Dre has walked away, and I'm just like, okay. And he's gone now for, let's just say, at least 20 minutes. So I would say probably 5 to 10 minutes of me waiting, it hits me all. And I'm like, I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry thinking about it. I'm getting emotional. I'm sitting there and I'm okay. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, he is getting me this ring. Like, this is legit. Like, this man is buying this ring, because you don't go away in the store for this long for nothing. Like, so I'm sitting there, y'all, and I am in the mall sobbing. Like, I put my head down, and it is a pool of water on this table from me crying, like all of my tears. I came up, y'all, I was crying so hard. When I lifted my head up, I had a snot bubble. Like, this is how hard I'm in this mall crying. I'm like, people probably looking at me like I'm crazy. I did not care. I got up, I went to the little yogurt station and got some napkins.
All the napkins.
A pile of napkins, y'all. And I'm just sitting there crying. It hit me. I'm like, wow, like, he not playing. Like, this is really real. You know how you pray? I have been praying for marriage for years at this point. It was just like, this is finally happening for me. Like, this is the moment, I care more about the wedding, like I've said in like my caption. I didn't really dream about my wedding day, but I cared about the marriage. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, oh, I'm really about to marry this man. Like, this is what I've always wanted. I'm marrying my best friend. I'm about to get this ring that I love. Like, this is happening fast. It's happening. So yeah, I'm sitting there sobbing, and Dre finally comes back, and
without the ring.
But I didn't care, because in my mind I knew, like, oh yeah, he got this. Like, at some point I'm gonna get it or whatever. It was just like I had a peace about it because I knew, again, you don't go away for that long to not come back with something, even if you ain't physically got it in your hand right now. You're getting that ring for me. Like I already knew, I didn't have to think about it. So we get in the car, we come home. I am crying. I am emotional, y'all.
She did not stop talking the entire car ride. I'm
The
talking about.
day,
I'm
the
talking about.
day, the rest of the day, I didn't stop talking. I talked for like 8 hours straight, y'all,
Yeah, that's true.
and will randomly bust out crying. And
And keep
so,
talking.
and I'm gonna keep talking. So, so then I was like, all right, let's go across the street. Like, I want to go talk to Kay. Like, I want to tell my dad. Um, so we go across the street and we go in the house. And I have a pair of house shoes over there. So me and Dre got a pair of house shoes. So we walk in and we usually go put our shoes on. We change and, out of our regular shoes to the house shoes. But Dre doesn't walk over with me to the place that we usually go. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And now he's walking towards my parents' room. And I'm like, why is he doing that? Okay, maybe one of the dogs are back there. Like he's about to go get the dogs or something. I don't know. I'm not paying
Also,
attention.
don't care.
Don't know, don't care, whatever. So I'm putting my shoes on. I come up, I look up, and I see Dre holding this bag, bust out crying all over again. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, he's got the ring right there. I clearly can see the bag. So then I sit down, and what happens after that? They call my dad up. And my dad come upstairs. He see Dre standing with a bag. Kay is standing. I'm sitting at a table crying. My dad is like, "What is going on?"
He got defensive.
He's so confused. Like, what is happening right now? And then Dre, what do you remember what you said? You not necessarily verbatim, but do you remember what happened after that, or you want me to keep telling it?
I feel like Kay explained because Kay was just like, because again, we could see you had your head down. We could see your dad was just like, "What is up?" Like I know he sees the bag, but he's not really seeing the bag. He's seeing his daughter sitting at the table crying, and I'm standing next to Kay. So it's like, what is going on? And she let him know that you probably want to sit down.
Yeah.
And I think it's essentially I just asked for
You asked for my hand again.
Yeah, his hand in marriage. Well, your hand in marriage and their blessing.
You better not ask my dad.
No, yeah, I asked for her.
It is a hard no.
I asked for her.
He don't want you.
I forget how the terminology are, but I asked for her hand in marriage and asked for their blessing. And
this is not a second time though, because didn't we say on the last episode? Did we explain that when you?
Yeah, I asked and they told me no.
Okay.
But they told me it was no because of the way I asked it, which makes sense. I wasn't truly asking, but I just wanted to know what their answer was. Mm-hmm. But I asked again, and obviously here we are. But yeah, let him know what was going on. And
a lot of tears.
Yeah, Deja and her dad embraced each other for a good minute as I was just talking.
My daddy.
My daddy. And yeah, I guess you could tell your side how it went. Because that's all it really was for me.
I just remember you talking to my dad, and I remember he made it clear that, yes, I have the ring. Yes, we are really getting married. And no, this is not the proposal. Like, I still want to do something special for you. I still want to surprise you. But, like, you're getting what you want. You're getting what you want type of thing. Like, I have this for you. So, I don't know. I guess I can't necessarily say I put my mind at ease because it wasn't like at an unease or something, but it was just like, why? Again, it just further confirmed like, okay, we are really moving forward in this. It was very overwhelming though. That was a very emotional weekend for me. Like, because this is now Super Bowl weekend. So this is a Saturday when all of this happens. So yeah. So here's the wild part though. So my stepmom has been in like the banquet wedding industry for years, like years. So by the time I came home, because I've always told her like I'm not planning my wedding. I've said that from day one. I do not want to plan it. I don't want to plan it. I don't want to plan it. So by the time we got home, She had already reached out to the venue. No, I'm lying. We didn't have the venue secure. We had looked at other venues, but she already secured like the DJ, the cake, and the photographer.
Yep.
Those were all done that same day. And I was like, oh, wow.
After we hung up the phone.
Like, legit, it was that quick. And so we had the conversation, and that's when she asked us, like, if we can get the wedding done within this certain budget, would y'all have the wedding this year? Because we have been going back and forth, like, are we getting married this year? Are we doing it next year? Are we having a big wedding? Is it going to be intimate? Are we going to elope? Like, is it going to be a destination? Like,
I wanted to elope.
We asked all the questions. I knew I didn't want a courthouse wedding, though. Like, I was more like, either we're going to go to our pastor's office and get married, we'll get married at our house or our parents' house or something. But I kind of was okay with that, too. Like, we just went back and forth with so many options, y'all. I can be very indecisive at times, and sometimes so can my husband. So we oftentimes need a voice of reason and accountability to kind of help us go through with what we are deciding on. So that pray for us. That's something we working on is being more decisive. So yeah, that was it. Then the next day, it was Super Bowl Sunday. We went to church. Everything was normal. We had a meeting with our pastor afterwards and was just like, hey, we want to start premarital counseling. He was happy. He was happy.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, he saw this coming, or he was, like, he just, parent. Oh my goodness. Like his kids got married or something. So he was super excited. And then I remember trying not to like show other people how giddy I was, because I didn't want them to question or pick up on what was going on, because again, at this point, like, we're technically not together, so there were other people, like, we just weren't ready to tell everybody what was going on. So
they knew what was going on because pastor tried to out us
at one oh my goodness. Y'all, listen, so one day pastor calls, he's like, all right, first he started off with the men, right? Wasn't it the men? All of the men come up and he was praying for the men. Mm-hmm. Then it turned into like, I'm praying for like the couples or whatever, the married husbands, the married couples. And he was like, okay, no, we ain't gonna stop there. If you got a boo or a boo thing or something like that, come up. And I'm sitting next to Dre, and I'm just like, Dre, you better not stand up.
No, that's not what he said. He first called the men up, because I think it was around. No, I'm not gonna say today. He called the men up, and then he called the wives of the men up, and he was like, I'm praying for married couples. And he was like, yeah, if you're just a couple, just come up. And obviously me and Deja are still sitting. He was like, if you got somebody you like, you got a little boo thing, you crushing on somebody, go ahead and come up. I'm like, wow.
We did not get up. We stood
like,
there.
I know y'all like some people. Like, I know there's some people in the church.
He's fishing, y'all. He is fishing.
He is trying to get us to stand up.
We did not give in. I didn't even look at. I didn't look at Dre.
I didn't look at
my dad standing up there. I didn't look at our minister. I didn't look pastor in his face. I don't know what I was looking at.
I was looking to the side like this.
I probably was looking at the. It's like, yeah, we're not coming up there.
I wanted to, though, just to be silly.
Yeah, Dre wanted to.
I seriously thought about it just being silly, but he was trying.
No,
he was standing there with the biggest smile on his face, like,
anybody
you got somebody you like in the church? Anybody like anybody? Like,
anybody that's low key best friends like each other? Like, he should have just kept going and really.
Y'all went to Rob Morris together.
You play basketball. If anybody out there 6'8", man, he would not stop.
Both of y'all 20. Born in the same year.
Listen, he would not stop. We was just like, Pastor, please, just pray for the people that's up there. Pray for the people that's up there. But yeah, so we just were not ready necessarily to tell everybody. But so yeah, that's how we ended up with the ring of my dreams. We looked for rings for Dre, but they didn't. I didn't find anything that I really liked or wanted for him. And Dre is very chill. Dre don't care. Dre was like, Deja, you could give me a tie-dye ring, a camo ring. Your only thing you wanted was that you wanted it to be at least two-tone. That was his only request. He was like, it could be blue and purple. It could be green and white. Like, I do not care what color this ring is. I just want it two-toned.
When it comes down to things, you can have an idea in mind, but like that might actually not be a thing. So it's like, oh, this is what I want, and it's like, yeah, that's not a thing. So when it comes down to it, it's just like, what are you willing to sacrifice for? Like, how do you actually want this to look? And then it got to the point where it's like, I just want a two tone. I don't really care. I just want a two tone. I like it.
It's three tone. That's what I wanted. I wanted something that like you could wear. Like if you got a gold watch, you can wear it. You got a black, you got a silver, or if like, you get a bracelet or something, it all ties in together. So yeah, y'all, that is our story of what kind of spearheaded us further into wedding proposal, so on and so forth planning. It started off with us going ring shopping. We were just supposed to be ring shopping. That's it. We did not know or think we were actually leaving the store with the ring. Um, but we got it. So I would say in this, I learned what you see on social media, y'all, is not necessarily what's actually happening behind the scenes. So like sometimes on social media you see like the guy, he plans this proposal or whatever, and the girl looks completely shocked and so on and so forth, and it's just like that's not everybody's story. And a lot of times by the time you get to the point of a man proposing to you, y'all have already discussed marriage. You may not know the time he's going to do it, but you're anticipating it. Oftentimes you're trying to make sure your nails are done because like this could potentially be coming. You may have already sent him rings on Pinterest that you like or told one of your friends. So then he goes and asks the friend, like, there's other steps behind it. And so I remember looking at social media and just thinking like, oh my gosh, these women are just completely blindsided. They don't know. And then living in our reality, it's like, no, a lot of times they know. At the end of the day, your story is your story, right? So like don't look at other people and their journey and think that that's how it's going to happen for you. And if it doesn't happen the way that you think it should happen or you've conjured up in your mind or the way you've seen it, it doesn't mean that it's any more or any less beautiful. Like whatever, however God does it for you is good for you. Like for one person, another woman may have not gone ring shopping and her husband just randomly surprised her with the ring she wanted. For us, it was we went ring shopping and we found what we wanted together. It's just like everybody's journey is beautiful, and expect the unexpected with God. He's not going to do things according to your plan. So just be open minded. And that's one thing that I would say is like we were open minded during this time. We also had people in our corner to help us stay open minded because I feel like the order and the way we did everything didn't make sense. Like I know some people are like, wait, you knew he had the ring? And it's like, yeah, I did. We finna get married. Like we talked about this already. I already know, and that's okay with me. And it's like, well, what about the element of surprise? And it was like, there was still an element of surprise because when he proposed, I did not know he was proposing that day. I knew I had the ring, and for me, that helped me because it was a sense of relief knowing that, like, okay, no, we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to worry. I don't have to think, like, is he going to propose within the next year? Or, it was just like, he's going to do it soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of, I don't know, it helped me. But that's my biggest takeaway. It's just like let your journey be your journey. Let God's timing for your life be his timing. Because we did not, when he moved home 2 years ago, moved back to Michigan, we did not see us being here at all. Like at least not, especially not within the time frame of it all happening. So
No,
um that was kind of my takeaway from
yeah, same
the
thing.
ring situation.
I kind of just got like, there is no stepping stones, building blocks to this. Your relationship is your relationship. Your journey is your journey. You can look at like, what happens um typically and kind of like gauge what it could be from that, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be your journey. And that's just like what from this experience, that's kind of just what I got with life. It's just like you can't prepare for anything. Life is a whole bunch of unexpected variables.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what really what I took away from this is just have faith, move according to God's will, and things
It's
are
gonna work
literally gonna
out.
fall where they need to fall
Yeah.
in the time that it needs to fall. We
Mm-hmm.
broke up and got married. Like it wasn't in our
He asked me
relationship.
to be his girlfriend after he had already bought the ring. That's the wild part. He asked me to be his girlfriend. Technically,
Y'all get that information later.
yeah,
But
yeah, okay.
because that's also a good story.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this, we wasn't in lovey-dovey, wifey, husband stages while we're sitting here fellowshipping, having a great first season, being together. No, we are completely broken up, airing out
While we
parts
broke
about our
up
dirty
and
laundry and groaning with each other and deciding that like we're about to take a break. You know what? Our break is actually we about to get married.
it brought us
So
closer.
things just happen the way that God plans it, and it's just a blessing to get to go through His plan. So that was my takeaway from that.
I actually have another takeaway. The other lesson is just like be okay with being different. Like
Mm.
embrace the journey, but embrace like for example, I just said at the time that we were looking at rings, this certain ring shape, again, I don't know if it's an emerald or whatever it's called, but it was so popular. And this is what I kept seeing a bunch of other ladies like, their husbands buying or fiancés buying for them. And it was like, oh, I think I want that because that's what I saw. But when I went to the store and experienced something different, it spoke to me. And I could have put myself in a box and been like, no, this is what's in right now. This is the ring that's trending. And like, this is this old school vintage type of cut. Like, I don't want that. I want what's popular. And I'm glad that that wasn't the mindset. I went with what spoke to me. And I feel like that's kind of how I am in life. That's just my personality. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
when something speaks to me, I'm like, yep, that's it. That
Mm-hmm.
feels right. I know that that's right. That's the one. So yeah, just be okay with being different. Y'all, so if you know me, you know that I love dad jokes. I have always loved dad jokes. So I
Oh,
want to
my bad.
start. We're gonna do a dad joke. I'm gonna try to remember this, y'all. I probably will forget. I will try my best. But I want to end us with a dad joke. All right, dad joke. Here we go. You ready?
Mm.
Why wasn't Boaz a nice man before he got married?
Why?
Because he was ruthless.
We want to explain why we got these mics later in the season.
Hey,
But yeah, we're gonna explain. We're gonna
you was
explain.
ruthless.
This is gonna be a thing.
Just looking for my Boaz.
You got one.
I got my Boaz.
Yeah, we're going to explain why we got these mics and the setup and everything like that later in the season. But y'all going to stick around for that. So this has been So On Time, and I just pray that this message was so on time.
Yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow us, share, all that good stuff. Yep.
God bless.